Combination Pro Soccer, become a J.League Manager and Aim for the World, released by Axela on June 1998 for the PlayStation, is a football management simulation game published only weeks before Japan's first appearance at the FIFA World Cup in France. Combination Pro Soccer opens with an animated sequence celebrating Japanese football and notably references the famous agony of Doha, the traumatic 1993 qualifier that cost Japan a place at the World Cup in the final seconds, placing the player at the heart of Japanese football's unfinished dream. Under the leitmotif, being a manager is the most intellectual and most exciting profession, Combination Pro Soccer lets the player assume the role of a club manager rather than controlling footballers directly on the field. The manager oversees every aspect of the club, from developing players and organizing training sessions, to recruiting new talent, preparing tactics, and issuing instructions during matches. His ultimate goal is to turn a J-League club into a domestic champion, before eventually leading the Japanese national team onto the world stage. The game distinguishes itself through a remarkable number of hidden systems, unusual mechanics, and long-term progression elements, with exceptional replay value over dozens of seasons. The game's defining feature is its emphasis on relationships between teammates, known in the game as combinations. When particularly compatible players spend enough time training and playing together, special partnerships can emerge and develop organically over multiple seasons, improving teamwork and creating benefits that often prove just as important as individual talent. At the start of a new game, the player selects one of the 18 J-League clubs available. Each club possesses its own set of attributes, such as its hometown, home stadium, and stadium capacity. Because every club begins the game with different financial resources, some teams are able to recruit talented players much earlier than others. Local derbies provide an additional source of income, awarding 1,000 funds each time a match is played between clubs from the same prefecture. All clubs appear under their real names and feature authentic squads from the period. Hidetoshi Nakata plays for Bellmare Hiratsuka, Masashi Nakayama leads Jubilo Iwata, while international stars such as Dunga, Adilson, Jorginho, Dragan Stojkovic appear alongside emerging Japanese talents. In addition to real-life players, the game also includes numerous fictional footballers who coexist with the licensed J-League roster. The choice of a starting club has a significant impact on the overall difficulty of the game. Powerhouses such as Jubilo Iwata, Kashima Antlers, or Yokohama Marinos possess talented squads capable of immediate success. Smaller clubs face far greater challenges, requiring years of careful rebuilding before they can realistically compete for championships. The player then creates a manager, his alter ego in the game. His role is to manage the team. The player must define the manager's profile, preferred tactics, and the types of instructions he wants to give players during matches. These choices determine his managerial style and overall direction. Throughout the game, the manager continues to evolve through random events, victories, defeats, and interactions with players and staff. In many ways, the manager becomes as important a character as the players themselves. The first season begins with 4 months dedicated to training and exhibition matches before the start of league competition. During this introductory period, the player is automatically assigned a coach who remains with the club for the entire season. Completing a single season generally takes around 6 hours of gameplay. The manager's starting abilities are determined by a football quiz that defines his leadership, tactical understanding, training efficiency, scouting ability, player relationships, and strategic development. From the second season onward, the manager can appoint a different coach. Several coach types are available, each possessing unique specialties ranging from forward development and defensive training to physical conditioning and tactical instruction. The manager can choose between 3 tactical philosophies that shape the team's overall identity throughout the season: offensive, defensive, or balanced. He must also select 3 primary formations that serve as the foundation of the team's tactical setup, from defensive structures to more attack-minded formations, each possessing its own strengths, weaknesses, and long-term development paths. These formations can be adjusted further by repositioning individual players, sometimes improving their overall effectiveness. At the beginning of each season, the club is assigned an objective based on the current strength of the squad. From the second season onward, failing to achieve the club's objective for 2 consecutive years results in a game over. The game follows the rhythm of a football season that lasts 44 weeks. Each week is divided into an early and a late period, for a total of 88 scheduling phases per season. Each period is devoted to training sessions, tactical preparation, random events, or official matches. To simplify long-term planning, the player can create a schedule for an entire month at once. The clubhouse menu is the team's management headquarters, where the player issues instructions as the club's manager. From this menu, he can determine the team's weekly schedule, assign training programs, arrange friendly matches, and manage various aspects of the club's operations. A total of 12 training categories are available, and each player can follow a different development path according to his strengths and weaknesses. The manager can assign collective or individual training programs to each player. Collective training allows several footballers to develop together, focusing on attributes such as power, speed, stamina, technique, goalkeeping, veteran maintenance, and rest periods, with players following the same training program grouped into a single session. This type of training often produces the most dramatic improvements when strong combinations are formed between compatible players. However, not all player combinations produce positive results, and poor compatibility can limit the effectiveness of training. It is recommended to follow the coach's advice on player compatibility. In order to develop combinations effectively, forwards must train with other forwards in power and speed, midfielders with other midfielders in speed and technique, and defenders with other defenders in speed, stamina, and technique. By contrast, individual training offers a more focused and reliable approach. Players train individually in offensive skills, defensive skills, and receive steady, predictable improvements to their abilities. Unlike collective training, there is no need to consider player compatibility or personality traits. As a result, individual training is often recommended to newcomers. Keep, or veteran training, helps older footballers maintain their abilities instead of gradually declining with age. Rest periods are essential for maintaining stamina and recovering from fatigue. Balancing training and recovery is crucial, as excessive fatigue can severely undermine a team's performances. Each player may enter a match in peak condition or already exhausted, dramatically affecting his effectiveness on the pitch. Teams that neglect stamina training often struggle in the later stages of matches and may concede decisive goals during extra time. Training can also be delegated to the coach, who automatically selects training programs for the entire squad. Depending on the selected training philosophy, the coach may focus on attacking development, defensive development, or improving compatibility between players. Every footballer possesses positional aptitudes, formation preferences, and hidden affinities for specific tactical philosophies and overall team chemistry. Deploying a player in his preferred role significantly improves both his performances and his long-term development. Likewise, an unsuitable tactical role can reduce a player's effectiveness and hinder his development. Young players can improve dramatically over multiple seasons, while aging veterans gradually decline before eventually retiring. Even mediocre footballers can become stars if given enough time and appropriate training. When a training session is taking place, the manager can use the training review screen to monitor the programs currently assigned to each player and verify that development is progressing as intended. If progress proves disappointing, the coach may suggest adjustments to player mentality, training assignments, and player combinations that could produce better results. Playing friendly matches can accelerate tactical development and improve a player's familiarity with different systems. However, they also generate fatigue, increasing the likelihood of injuries before key competitions. Various events may occur as the season progresses. The manager may play football with children in a park, play pachinko, have drinks with players, or experience periods of extraordinary luck and misfortune. Players may receive confidence boosts, improve their chemistry, or acquire new tactical knowledge. These random events vary greatly in frequency and can produce both positive and negative outcomes. The manager is occasionally required to make decisions, and their consequences can affect many aspects of the club. Players' attributes may change, new instruction commands may become available, and a variety of other effects can occur. Together, these events create the impression that the club exists within a living football world, rather than a collection of statistics and menus. Beginning in the fourth month of the season, the J-League campaign starts. The J-League season is divided into two stages. The first stage runs from April to June, while the second stage takes place from August to October. The teams that finish first in each stage qualifies for the championship, held during the third and fourth weeks of November. The winner of the championship is crowned J-League champion. If the same club wins both stages, no championship is held, and that team automatically claims the title. Each stage follows a single round-robin format consisting of 17 matches. Matches are played over 90 minutes, split into a 45-minute first half and a 45-minute second half. If the score remains tied after regulation time, the game proceeds to extra time under the golden goal rule, meaning the first team to score is immediately declared the winner. Should the match remain tied after extra time, the winner is decided by a penalty shootout. A victory in normal time awards 3 points, a win in extra time grants 2 points, and a victory after a penalty shootout is worth 1 point, while a defeat yields no points. Before every match, the manager selects the starting 11 from a squad of 20 players. The remaining players can either be assigned to the bench or left out of the match squad entirely. A condition icon displays each player's current form, ranging from excellent to very poor. Poorly conditioned players are more likely to suffer injuries. A stamina gauge displayed alongside the condition icon also shows the player's remaining physical energy, with a fuller gauge indicating greater stamina reserves. A positional aptitude graph displayed alongside each player's name shows his suitability for each position on the pitch. By pressing triangle while holding L1, the manager can view the compatibility between the selected player and his surrounding teammates, providing valuable information when building combinations and identifying effective partnerships. Once the lineup has been finalized, a match preparation screen displays a comparison of both teams, highlighting their respective strengths and weaknesses. The manager can choose one of the 3 primary formations selected at the beginning of the season, although switching to an alternative system during a match remains possible if circumstances require it. The chosen formation can also be adjusted by repositioning individual players and fine-tuning the team's shape. An unfamiliar formation may cause players to tire more rapidly and perform poorly. Conversely, maintaining a consistent tactical identity allows players to gradually master the system and extract greater efficiency from their abilities. Free kicks, corner kicks, and penalty kicks can be assigned individually according to each player's strengths. Players currently on the field can be replaced by reserve players through the substitution menu. Changes can only be made during a match interruption, such as a throw-in, free kick, or other break. Up to 3 substitutions can be made during a match, which allows the manager to react to injuries, fatigue, or tactical developments. The tactical menu offers a range of strategic options. Each approach influences the team's overall style of play and behavior on the pitch, affecting factors such as attacking intent, defensive organization, pressing intensity, and ball circulation. Depending on the chosen system, players may adopt a more attacking or defensive mindset, alter their positioning, or emphasize different aspects of play. Finally, the manager can issue special instruction commands during matches. These orders can be executed in real time, and their number increases as the game progresses. Only 8 commands can be selected for use at the same time. Under normal circumstances, players follow the tactical plan established beforehand. However, when an instruction command is activated, they temporarily alter their behavior and tactical priorities in order to carry out the order. The manager can then adjust tactics and player actions to the current flow of the match. Matches are presented through a hybrid simulation system viewed from an overhead perspective and unfold in real time. Players are represented by colourful, super-deformed footballers with oversized heads and exaggerated animations. Their distinctive designs make key players easy to recognise and give matches a colourful, arcade-like presentation. Once the match begins, footballers interpret the tactical instructions, formations, and commands prepared beforehand. The player does not directly control footballers. Instead, he assumes the role of manager and observes developments, makes substitutions, adjusts tactics, and reacts to changing circumstances. The quality of a team's training, tactical familiarity, player compatibility, positional suitability, and physical condition all influence how effectively players perform during matches. A well-prepared team can often outperform a stronger opponent whose players are poorly organised or exhausted. Individual footballers also display noticeable differences in behaviour according to their abilities, preferred positions, and compatibility with teammates. Passing connections, movement patterns, and attacking sequences evolve naturally over time, particularly as combinations begin to develop between players who have spent several seasons training and competing together. Because matches are heavily influenced by hidden systems and long-term development, victories often feel like the result of months of preparation rather than a single tactical decision. Despite the relatively simple visual presentation, the simulation often produces surprisingly believable football. A turbo mode option can be activated by pressing the square button. While active, matches run at approximately twice their normal speed, and an indicator appears beside the match timer. To issue an instruction command during a match, the player must press circle to open the menu, select a command with the directional buttons, and press circle again. The player can select stand down to cancel the previously issued command. The player can use the encourage command by repeatedly pressing circle during a match to boost a footballer's morale. This temporarily improves his performance, but also consumes a significant amount of stamina. Various reaction icons appear above footballers' heads during a match to indicate their condition, emotions, and response to the manager's instructions. These icons provide immediate feedback on players' performance and reactions. When particularly compatible players spend enough time training and playing together, a special relationship begins to emerge. This special state, known as combination, forms the foundation of one of the game's most important hidden mechanics. When a combination is active, passing becomes more accurate, players are more likely to create scoring opportunities, and team attacks become more effective. Off-the-ball movement, attacking coordination, and overall teamwork also improve. As seasons pass, these relationships become increasingly important. A squad built around strong combinations often performs far beyond what its raw statistics would suggest. Conversely, even a team full of talented individuals may struggle to reach its potential if no combinations develop, despite possessing superior technical qualities. In addition to combinations, certain players may eventually reach a special state known as extreme. If combination represents teamwork, this mysterious extreme mechanic embodies individual transcendence. Under highly specific circumstances, a player can enter the extreme state and surpass his normal developmental limits. His abilities increase dramatically, his performance rises well above normal levels, and he becomes capable of making game-changing plays. Attribute caps increase, hidden skills improve, positional suitability rises, and certain footballers may suddenly experience spectacular growth. If no winner has been determined after extra time, the match proceeds to a penalty shootout. Each team takes 5 penalties, and the side that scores the most goals wins. If no winner emerges after 5 kicks each, the shootout continues under sudden death rules until one side prevails. Instruction commands cannot be used during the penalty shootout. After a match, a results screen provides access to several pages containing information about the game, including the match result, detailed statistics, numerical data, the results of other league matches played during the same round, and the current league standings. Beginning with the second year, a year-end processing phase takes place every January. During this period, the manager is responsible for overseeing the club's resources and long-term development, while preparing the team for the coming season and a new campaign for the J-League title. The club earns funds based on its results, which are primarily used to recruit players and improve club facilities. Upgrading facilities reduces the risk of injuries, improves training effectiveness, and increases stadium capacity. Larger stadiums attract bigger crowds and therefore generate higher revenue. The manager must decide which players will receive new contracts and which will be released. Up to 4 players may be released each season. Because the squad is limited to 20 players, new signings can only be made after existing squad members have been released. Squad numbers can be assigned and reassigned before the new season begins, although each number can only belong to a single player at any given time. The manager can change the 3 primary formations for the upcoming season if desired. The manager can choose to retain the current coach or appoint a new one. Only one coach can be employed at a time, and a new appointment cannot be made until the following season. The manager can review a list of available footballers and designate up to 4 transfer targets to strengthen the squad. These players do not join the club immediately. Instead, negotiations take place throughout the following season, with the likelihood of success depending largely on the player's rank, and even selected targets may ultimately refuse to join the club. Failed negotiations can sometimes be resumed later in the season. Recruitment requires long-term planning, as players continue to develop while playing for rival clubs. A prospect overlooked one year may emerge several seasons later as one of the league's most sought-after footballers. Because player development and positional compatibility both contain random elements, the transfer market evolves differently with each playthrough, ensuring that no 2 careers follow exactly the same path. Once all year-end processing tasks have been completed, the manager can begin the next season. The new campaign starts in February, and the game returns to the clubhouse main menu. As years pass, the scope of the game expands dramatically. Success in the J-League eventually attracts national and international attention, unlocking several additional modes beyond the standard J-League Manager mode. These competitions feature stronger clubs and national teams, and also allow footballers from outside the manager's club to participate. The manager may be selected to coach either the East Japan or West Japan All-Star team in the annual All-Star match. He can then assemble a squad of 20 players drawn from clubs across his region to form an all-star team and manage them against the rival selection. After achieving success by winning championships in the J-League, the club can participate in a World Club Championship tournament featuring the 12 champion clubs from major leagues around the world. European clubs from England, Italy, Germany, and Spain are especially strong, making this one of the toughest competitions in the game. The manager may eventually receive an offer to take charge of the Japanese national team. The objective then shifts from club management to international competition. To reach the World Trophy, the game's equivalent of the FIFA World Cup, Japan must first progress through the Asian qualification campaign. Only teams that successfully progress through the qualification rounds can reach the World Trophy finals, which are played as a knockout tournament. During this period, normal J-League management is temporarily suspended while the manager focuses entirely on the national team. The transition from club football to international management represents one of the game's most satisfying long-term rewards. The manager can call up players from clubs throughout the whole country rather than relying solely on members of his own squad. Players recruited and developed over multiple seasons may eventually earn places in the national team, creating a strong sense of continuity between club and country. Veteran players remain eligible for selection, although fictional footballers from outside the J-League system cannot be chosen. After 1 year with the national team, the manager resumes his role at his original J-League club. 2 additional game modes are available outside the main J-League Manager mode. Versus mode allows 2 players to stage exhibition matches between developed teams. With 2 memory cards, it is possible to compete against a friends club or even organize matches between teams from the same season. Before kickoff, each player selects a starting lineup and tactical settings, then controls their team with a separate controller during the match. Trade mode allows players to be exchanged between different career saves. Only fictional footballers are eligible for trading. Real J-League players cannot be exchanged. At the end of a season, if a club contains 1 or more tradable players, the game offers the option to create a special save file for trading purposes. These save files are marked with a Trade OK indicator on the save and trade screens. Some fictional players are also ineligible for trading, and only saves marked Trade OK can participate in player exchanges. Part management simulation, part football laboratory, and part long-term strategic experiment, Combination Pro Soccer is much closer to a football management RPG than a pure football game, and remains a fascinating hidden gem whose depth continues to surprise players decades after its release. Its greatest achievement lies in the way every system complements the others. What initially appears to be a simple football management title gradually reveals itself as an astonishingly ambitious simulation game filled with hidden mechanics, interconnected systems, and long-term strategic depth. More than a simple football game, Combination Pro Soccer stands as one of the finest sports strategy simulation games ever created. It portrays the world of football management, the J-League, and the Japanese national team with remarkable passion and intensity. The visual presentation constantly reinforces the feeling that the player is not simply managing statistics, but guiding a cast of football characters through a long sporting drama. At first, the team is weak and suffers crushing defeats, but through dedicated training and player development, it eventually achieves success. The strongest team is not necessarily the one with the highest rated players, but the one whose combination, tactics, formation, and positional balance work together most effectively. Watching a carefully developed squad execute a perfectly prepared tactical move after years of training and planning creates a strangely satisfying spectacle.